All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Spoiler Kings movie review. My name is Tank Kramer. I'm with Brandon and Brian. What's up? All right. So
Same
if you've
old,
been
same old.
live, if you've been watching live, we already been kind of talking a little bit. But if you're watching on replay, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to let us know you dig what we are talking about. So today in this episode, we are talking House of Dragon, episode 1, the pilot episode of the spinoff show. So to do a quick recap before we get into what we liked and disliked about it. It was pretty much fill in if there's anything I was kind of missing, but it was just kind of a brother and two brothers kind of fighting. You know, the king is trying to figure out who his heir is and can't find an heir, so he names his daughter the heir, which pisses off the brother. And that's pretty much it. You know,
I
the
would
brother is
start.
Matt Smith.
I would start with saying the king before had a choice
Oh,
between like
yeah, that's right.
a brother and his daughter, and he chose the brother. Now that same brother has the same choice, and this time, through some things that happened in the episode, he chooses his daughter. And now, this is the first time a woman has even been thought of to be a queen. And now we're going to see what happens and how the Civil War is going to come about because of this decision.
Yeah. So, yeah, the last time was he was preventing a civil war by letting people vote, and they voted for the brother, which is now the king in this episode. This time, he kind of like took it upon himself and named his daughter which I can't remember what was her name? Veneris, something like that.
Her name is like Acid.
I don't know
Sounds-
I don't know the everyone. I know there's Damien, which was Matt Smith. He's the brother,
It was like
the uncle
Ray
of the
Hire.
future.
What's her name?
No, of the daughter. No, it's like Veneris or something.
Look it up too.
Yeah, although you get a bunch of like characters from the dang from the movie.
I have no remember what her name is.
Oh yeah, Rena. But yeah, I kept hearing Veneris.
That's what I thought. Rhaenyra, Rhaenyra. I think it's Rhaenyra or something like that. Because I remember when he went to go call her, he was like, "It's Rhaenyra, whatever." All right, I'm here. And she was like, "You haven't talked to me since the funeral. What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah,
Rhaenyra or something like that. So that's what. So either way,
Rhaenyra. But yeah, I mean that's yeah. Varys was, I think, the brother or the king, the current king or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know the characters' names yet. I feel like by the end of the season, I'm gonna be like know them by heart.
Yeah, because Daemon is the brother.
Yeah, which is such an easy name. I was like,
Daemon.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to I don't know. So real quick before we get into good and bad stuff, I guess this could count as good or bad. Is it a good thing or a bad thing watching Game of Thrones before this? I'm not saying if Game of Thrones is a good or bad show, that's a whole nother argument. But knowing everything you know, do you wish you don't know it going into this one, or is it helpful going into this one?
It almost feels like the prologue at the beginning of this episode was enough. It's kind of like, to me, it was almost like, even though I watched Game of Thrones, it's almost like you don't even need you don't even need to for this one. It lays out everything kind of quickly enough, and it stands on its own. As far as I'm concerned, so you can watch it just because obviously it's the same. It's within the same world, the same continuity, so to speak. But at the same time, you don't really have to.
Yeah.
So it's a prequel but I think it's not as it's almost seems like it'd be better if you don't know what's going on for the story, because
definitely a
knowing some
prequel.
parts of it kind of ruins the story. So it's like you already know where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
So there's less of a shock. But if you didn't know where it was going, I think the story itself will be better.
Definitely a prequel, but to me it felt like it was enough to stand on its own.
No, definitely. But I mean, what is it better to know kind of where it's going, or to have no clue what the heck's about to happen? And I'm saying I think in this story it'll be better to have no clue where it's going to happen, to just enjoy the journey from there. Like my wife does not watch Game of Thrones. She's was enthralled. You know, I kind of understood, like I know what's about to happen here. I can figure out what's about to happen here, and it was different. But she was enthralled. So that's why I'm saying I think it might be better to not know where it's going.
I got you. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Because I mean, it definitely had the same vibe. I felt like of Game of Thrones.
Definitely,
which
definitely,
which was definitely like on purpose, like because the first one had such a great feeling to it, and like you really got immersed in the everything, just into the story, into the characters, like everything, you were immersed into it.
Absolutely.
This more like the first through third season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
like the beginning of Game of Thrones. That's exactly what you were getting here, which I think arguably are the best seasons. So
first 5 I thought were freaking amazing. But yeah, I mean, it definitely starts off the episode after the little prologue or the writing that it sets you up for. It starts off with her riding a dragon, which took us 6 seasons in Game of Thrones.
It's like, a while.
Started off, we're like oh, we know what you love. Boom, here it is, freaking dragon.
Really, right out the woodwork, which is great. Right after that, that opening scene, which was awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know what else did you guys like or dislike about this first episode?
From an aesthetic standpoint, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was shot very well. The costuming and set design was great.
Oh, definitely.
I really like the costuming. Like that was like probably my favorite thing about the episode, to be honest. It's got some good actors. Like Patty Considine, or however you say his last name. Obviously, Matt Smith, who's great in everything he's in. Risa Fons, who's also great in everything he's in. So I like the roster of respectable actors. And, obviously there's more than them that I could name off. But yeah, I liked that. I liked that it maintained that kind of brutality in terms of like the and how visceral like a lot of the battle scenes are and stuff like that. Like that raid on the village was awesome. So it definitely kept up the momentum in terms of like the how graphic its predecessor was in terms of violence. The I'll keep it family friendly, and I will not say the other scenes, but I know you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah. So it's kind of hard to get a read exactly on like where they're going. The quality of the storyline and narrative, because I always feel like it always takes at least like 3 to 5 episodes to kind of get a read in that regard, especially with shows like this. So I'm kind of waiting to say something about until I formulate an opinion on that. From an aesthetic standpoint and a technical standpoint, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you, Brian?
I enjoyed the relationships, showing the relationships and how complex they really were. Between brothers, between uncle and niece, between the 2 girls. I mean, the princess and I guess she's not really maiden. I don't know. She's his second command's daughter. Whatever. Just all those relationships were just really interesting to see how they're developing. Even the love he had for his queen and the decisions that he still was making because he felt the pressure of the kingdom. I love the little cues, seeing like the king looks like he's about to come out. He has tetanus. Like it makes sense because we have a rusty old throne. Things like that, and you see him get cut again. Just those little details, I think, are going to have huge ramifications later. So, I mean, I think I enjoyed the details because I kind of already knew where the story was going to go. But the details I'm liking because I'm going to enjoy the way the story is going to unfold because of those things.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but that's kind of true because everything was really based on the family and having the relationship between the family was really interesting. Because even like who I think we assume the war is gonna be between Damien and what's her name, the princess. But
are you sure?
I think I don't know. I mean, I think that's where it might go, but I'm not 100% sure on it. But I mean, I'm pretty confident like Damien is not gonna just sit down and be like, oh, he sent me to my corner. Like, yeah,
Oh,
that man's got
he got on his dragon. He got on his dragon. He's like, I'm coming.
Yeah. But yeah, they told him leave.
Such a good. I didn't know if he was leaving. Or he was leaving where he told him leave from to come back because they're doing all this stuff.
Because he took his Lady of the Night friend.
Yeah, his concubine, whatever.
yeah. So that's why I assumed he was like leaving the King's Landing.
I don't know because I feel like the relationship he has with whatever Razar, what's her name? I gotta be able to say it right.
So many complicated names on this show. I can't remember.
I know.
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. All right, we'll go with Rhaenyra. That's what we're gonna go with. I feel like Rhaenyra or Rhaenyra or whatever.
Rhaenyra.
I feel like that relationship they have might change, and I don't think that they're giving us all the information. Episode 1 to say, and this is what the Civil War is going to be.
Yeah,
because it's complicated. Because the one who should have been queen is still there.
Mm-hmm.
That relationship is interesting. The one who's basically the puppet master behind the scenes is there. We don't know what happened between the king and the other guy's daughter. I mean, there's so many things that are kind of left hanging that I think there are going to be maybe 4 people that are going to be vying for the throne, and possibly, the uncle and niece join together. There's so many things that could happen. There's a lot of things you could do.
Yeah,
Rhaenyra.
Oh god, too many damn names. It's legit, man.
Thank you.
But it just changed with Rhaenyra and Daemon combined forces because she has love for her uncle. There is definitely respect, and like we don't even know what type of person she really is.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Once the king dies, all hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah.
That exactly goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. It's kind of hard to get a read on the narrative at this point. Which, not that I'm complaining, because I like stuff like that because it keeps me engaged. So I'm interested. Mm-hmm.
I did the bad thing that I always do and ruin the story. I can't help it. I don't know how close they're gonna follow it or not, but yeah. But I mean, for me, knowing the story doesn't ruin the story for me. You know what I mean? Like just because I saw it or read it, and stuff like that. But then
you can't answer where you think it's going to go.
I mean, Yeah, I still can because there could be small changes. Sorry. There could be
This is
small
what happened
changes.
last
It
time.
could be like the boys. The boys is completely different
Yeah,
than
we
the
have no
comic.
idea what's going on in the boys, but
Yeah.
And I think
but
I
Game of
think with
Thrones followed the story pretty well for the first 4 or 5 seasons. So I'm just
yeah,
saying,
but
Yeah.
this was a story in the story kind of thing. So we don't have a lot of details. We have like what's gonna happen with characters, like in the end, but I don't think the details we don't know too much about. Because this is, I mean, which I don't think this is a spoiler. You kind of see it in the trailer. It's a Targaryen civil war, which I think after watching the first episode, you kind of know that's coming too.
That's coming. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is a question? The Targaryens ruled until Robert's rebellion. Yeah. They were the bosses. They were the bosses. So, yeah, and then freaking Robert ruined it. But yeah, one thing I did like was like him getting all the cuts, because that I know from the books for sure is the throne cut like people who sat on it, because the Targaryen that made the throne said no king should be comfortable sitting on its throne. So that's why he made it out of swords. One, to show off how badass he is, but two is like kind of like going forward. Remember, it's not a cushy, seat. You're gonna bleed and it's gonna hurt, kind of thing. So
3, you have tetanus and die.
Yeah. So I mean, you like get a foam. Well, I guess that's one thing this episode kind of showed, like how good is modern medicine.
Exactly.
Like make
Well,
sure you appreciate that.
he's stressed, so yeah, this thing won't heal. That's not how things work. It's just like, what? Okay.
Yeah, we saw some very some things that could have fairly easily been solved in today's world with science. At first I thought it was grayscale. No, because it was gooey. It was like pussy, which was kind of nasty. I'm like, you really didn't have to zoom in on that, but whatever. Like,
reminded me of something like
no one thought needle and thread.
Out of the Fly.
No one thought needle and thread. Let's throw some alcohol. There's alcohol around. There's no needle and thread. You're just gonna sew together. Like,
close it back up.
Yeah.
But they thought about cauterizing it, so it's like, let's burn it shut.
Like,
let's just not sew it shut. Let's burn it shut.
Like, ew.
So, yeah. He even said, like, cool, do it. I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah, he was done. He had enough.
Yeah. Any cool characters that like stuck out? Oh wait, I do got one bad one. Even my girlfriend said something right away. How do we not have technology to make wigs look better? Like Matt Smith looked weird with the fake wig. Pretty much all the Targaryens really looked weird, like with the fake bleached blonde wigs. That was one of my biggest gripe with it. It's just so annoying.
I thought that they did that on purpose. Like, how like wigs used to wear white wigs on purpose. I thought that might have been on purpose, and that's not really. Everyone knows that it's not their hair, and they're just doing it anyway because that shows their royalty. F it. No black is gonna grow blonde dread. It's just not gonna happen, bro.
We got the gray dreads.
I didn't think the gray dreads looked bad.
That looked awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Matt Smith's wig was very dollar store Legolas,
Oh, did it gave you Party City look. Come on.
Party City, wish.com. But yeah, I definitely agree. I'd say that was a definite distraction.
If we're gonna say bad, the C-section was too much for me. I was like, I looked at my wife. I said, if we ever were gonna have another kid, that ended tonight.
Yeah,
right there. That was too much for me. I couldn't. That was just too much.
Yeah, that made me tense up. That kind of made me squirm when they, even just the build up to it, them holding her down, and him saying, "No, they're gonna bring the babe out. They're gonna bring the babe out, or bring out the babe," whatever he was saying.
The babe.
Um, yeah, that was really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, that was, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna do. Well, I know. Talking about that, as soon as they said the baby's breech, I was like, oh,
Mhm.
well, gotta pick one. Which one?
Yeah,
Which one you gonna pick? And him, the way he's been talking, kind of knew, but yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
That
it
was
seemed like
not good.
definitely.
it seemed like he loved his wife. It's just that he felt the pressure of the kingdom
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
his sore and his maybe impending, death and things like that, and feel like I need to do this. And after all that, you lose both of them.
he lost both,
Yeah.
only to lose both of them.
That was
Yeah, yeah,
hard,
that was
hard to
harsh.
see. And it
Yeah.
happened 5 times before.
Yeah, that sucked.
Maybe you should
Ooh.
just stop.
Yeah,
Well, that's what she was saying. She goes, "I'm done. I can't do this anymore."
I think that's the time when you should have a tag team, like
Mm.
a tag team partner. Like, hey, next one, you go in. I can still be queen, but you do this.
yeah,
You're
get a
the oven.
surrogate.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
exactly. But that's the thing with like these Targaryens back then is like, they like to keep it in the family, and that's how like they know when you're not a Targaryen is when you get not that hair, you know what I mean? Because that's how they found out with all the other ones, like, oh, blonde hair, blonde hair, blonde hair, blonde hair. Like, oh wait, this one doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, something happened, you know. And I think he ended up naming his daughter.
The
Yeah,
air anyway.
there anyway. Yeah.
Could have had his wife. Could have been a happy family.
I mean, happy-ish. At least could have been with her.
Yeah.
Because if the baby, it seemed like the baby was going to die because they had no way of bringing out the baby, which is kind of interesting too. Because I'm like, one way or another, the baby needs to come out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, take that for whatever, thoughts go through your head. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. But,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that wasn't going to end happy either way.
Yeah,
but I think that's what the show is, though. The show, like Game of Thrones, never has a happy ending. That's just not a thing
just
that
death.
George R. Martin does. Yeah. So the whole time, I don't know about you guys. I was thinking of I don't know if you ever heard of Di Atwood, the South African,
the South African like
guy
rapper.
and the chick.
They were in they were in Chappie.
Yeah. That's all I can think about.
Crappy.
I don't know why she looked like her. What was her name? Yolanda or whatever. The chick from Die Atwood. like that's
Yolandi or something like that.
Yeah, Yolandi. Yeah, something like that. I'm like, why does she look just like her? With this, I'm just waiting for her to like do a shitty rap.
That didn't register. That did not even register. Holy crap! Now
No?
I can't unsee it.
Yeah, you can't unsee it now. So
I do
ruin the entire series.
What's up, Professor Smoke? Thanks for joining.
What's up? But let's get into some predictions, and then we'll move on to something else. But what predictions do you guys think this might go? I know we kind of touched it a little bit, but
I'll go one word:
what that already happened.
Yeah,
More.
More.
Yeah, this is Game of Thrones we're talking about, So that's pretty much inevitable.
I'm just saying, take what I already said. What I said about the niece and the uncle. Take my word.
I was thinking about that too.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what Damon does next. Because I think he's pretty much like, the loose cannon or the wild card of this series. And curious to see what he does, because I think it's going to happen pretty soon. What he's going to do, and more importantly, how he's going to end up doing it. You know, because we are like right out the gate, he's pretty insidious and a schemer based on the information that we have to go on, or based on what we've seen of him. So I'm really curious to see where they go with him moving forward. I think that was pretty much my main takeaway as far as predictions for the rest of the season, and the next episode, and you know, the remainder of the season.
I like the idea. As I said, Damon said, "Why would you never name me your number 2?" So, Rhaeris, whatever her name is, what if that's what she does? Her father dies, and she names Damon her number 2 as her counsel, and then a romantic link comes up. But my point is that she does what her father didn't do, and that's what causes the Civil War, because everyone wants Damon to be out of there. That's what I thought. So that's, you know, even though Tank already knows what's happening, I'm just saying that's what I
thought. I think they're gonna change a little bit from the story. I think they will. But also there are a lot of things that I feel like can set up things later. Because my biggest question at the end of the episode is, did he? I don't know how to say it. Did he have sex with
that's why I said
Hand's daughter? Yeah, you know, that's my biggest thing.
His second in command's daughter.
Yeah.
So and then she becomes pregnant after you already named up an heir. Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I think that's my biggest kind of question going forward. You know, what's gonna happen with that? But I mean, when are we gonna get that? Season 3? You know, maybe 2. I mean,
9 months. So I think you'll see by the end of the episode. So they resolve the Damon Rhaeris whatever problem, and then that comes. And now what do you do? And the king's dead.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be kind of cool. I like not knowing much. Like I said, I know the story because I read into it, but I think they're gonna change some stuff. So, which would be good because that kind of keeps the people who already know the story on their toes. But hopefully, it seems like if they keep the vibe the same, it'll make everyone happy. You know, very like to me, like The Boys did it perfectly. Like if you read the comic books, you can love the comic books and the show at the same time. You know, and they're very different. You know, so I hope they kind of do with this, because I also heard George R. R. Martin is like on set. He's very involved in this one.
Yeah, I was reading about that. Like I know his involvement's a lot, dare I say, even heavier than Game of Thrones, or at least like the later seasons of Game of Thrones. So yeah, his involvement's always reassuring.
But
I can't wait to see episode 2. Cool.
Yeah. It just, I want more dragons. You know, I think the dragons so far have their own personality, because you saw her dragon, you know, and kind of like was crying at the end for, you know, burning the bodies like they do, you know, kind of like whimpered like a puppy almost, you know. But then also Damien's dragon,
aggressive.
I mean, he looked like he was ready to rip somebody's head off.
Yeah.
You know,
let me ask you guys this about the dragons. What did you guys think of the CG for them?
Not bad.
It wasn't bad at all.
It wasn't bad.
It was fine.
There's a few parts I noticed, like when they were flying through the clouds, and when they were landing. The
first dragon, maybe it was just me. I don't know. It gave me like mid-90s kind of Dragonheart vibes. You know, a little bit. Yeah.
Well, it's a TV show. I'm okay as long as it's not Spider-Man #1 bad CGI. I'm pretty much gonna understand.
Oh yeah, like PS1 graphics.
Yeah. As long as we have PS4, I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah. that's what we thought about House of Dragon. Leave a comment. Let us know what you guys thought about House of Dragon. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is it kind of sucky? You know, did you like the CGI? Did it look kind of old school? But leave a comment. Let us know. And check us out next week when we're talking about episode 2 of House of Dragon.